Nobody cared when I was weak. That's where we'll start. Not in some fantasy where people support you just because you're trying. Not in a world where effort is enough. No, I started where everyone ignored me. Where my name was a joke. Where every breath felt borrowed and every day was a reminder that I wasn't strong enough to protect anyone. Not even myself. I was the one they overlooked, the one they left behind during raids, the one they glanced at with pity, not respect, the weakest hunter in humanity. Every time I stepped onto the battlefield, it wasn't confidence I carried. It was fear. Fear that I'd fail again. Fear that I'd die before I could become anything more than a burden. And no matter how much I wanted someone to notice the fight inside me, no one ever did. And in that silence, that emptiness, I realized something that would change everything. No one is coming.
The truth is brutal. It's not poetic. It doesn't offer you peace. But it offers you something better. Clarity. No one's going to save you. No one's going to lift you out of your suffering just because you're tired. The world doesn't care about your almosts. It doesn't celebrate your attempts. It only responds to one thing: results. And when I understood that, not just heard it, but truly understood it, everything changed. No one cares how tired you are. No one sees the scars you carry. The world doesn't pause for your pain. It steps on you, crushes you, walks past your broken body, because that's what happens to the weak. They are forgotten, replaced, buried, and I was one of them. But I didn't stay there. I stopped waiting for sympathy. I stopped wishing someone would pull me out of the darkness. The truth is cruel, but it's honest. The only way out is to climb, bleeding, crying, alone if you have to. And when you make peace with that, when you stop resisting the pain and instead begin to embrace it, something inside you wakes up. That's when you start to feel it. The shift. When you stop begging for mercy and start demanding power. When you train, not because anyone's watching, but because you refuse to stay weak. When fear doesn't vanish, but it no longer owns you. When you wake up one more time after thinking you couldn't. You change, you evolve, you become something else, something they can't ignore. They say get stronger. They toss those words like they're simple, like they understand what it means. But getting stronger, is it a moment? It's not a transformation that happens overnight. It's a war against every part of you that's comfortable with being average. A war against the part of you that seeks comfort, approval, and safety. Getting stronger is killing the version of you that flinched, that hesitated, that waited for permission. It's about breaking yourself again and again until what's left is unrecognizable. Not because you became someone new, but because you finally became who you were always meant to be. It's about becoming fire. Not someone who's warmed by it, but someone who survives inside it. You learn to bleed and keep moving, to break and keep building, to fall and stand back up so many times you forget what the ground felt like. So when people say you've changed, you just smile, because they don't know what it cost to become this version of you. They don't know the nights spent in silence. They don't know the moments where you could have given up and no one would have blamed you, but you didn't. They don't know what it means to be forged in suffering. You think I'm strong now. You didn't see the nights I was on the floor, coughing blood, watching teammates die. You didn't hear the thoughts that whispered, "You'll never be enough." You didn't hear the thoughts that whispered, "You'll never be enough." You weren't there when I had nothing but broken bones and a will that refused to die. I didn't just wake up strong. I bled for it. I broke for it. I suffered, and I chose to keep going anyway. You think I'm strong now? No. What you see now is the surface, the result, the shadow of the man I had to become. But if you saw the path I walked to get here, you'd understand why I don't speak much, why I don't explain myself, why I carry silence like armor. Because before the strength, before the fear in their eyes, I lived with fear in mind. Every step into a dungeon, I wondered if I'd return. I'd check my gear twice, not because I was careful, but because I was scared. And every time I looked into the eyes of monsters, I didn't see an enemy. I saw a reflection of what I was becoming, of what I needed to become just to survive. Pain didn't break me. It introduced me to myself. And somewhere in the middle of all the dying, all the running, all the blaming myself for not being fast enough, strong enough, something shifted. I stopped apologizing. I stopped asking the world to understand. If you're still listening, if something in you moved while the rest of the world stood still, then you already know. This isn't motivation. This isn't some feel-good ending. This is a threshold. And you've either crossed it, or you haven't. Because there is no going back after this. Once you see the truth, once you understand that nobody's coming, that nobody cares how heavy it is, that the world bows only to those strong enough to make it kneel, then the question becomes simple. What are you going to do about it? You either get stronger, or you get swallowed. You either rise, or you stay forgotten. And I promise you, the moment you stop making excuses, the moment you start embracing the pain, the moment you decide that enough is enough, that's when your power begins. Not when they believe in you, not when the timing is right, when you say so. That's what it means to awaken. So don't ask me how I did it. I didn't pray, I didn't wish, I didn't wait. I chose. And now the world remembers my name for one